Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pup, and I'm here to talk about my top 10 cozy games. Okay, so this was a very interesting list to make for me. I don't play a lot of typical cozy games that you would see amongst the cozy game YouTubers and Twitch streamers out there having their fun with their cozy games. But I do play a couple of them, and I have a lot of fun with them. And when I started to make my list, when I had this idea, a lot of games came to mind that might not be cozy games for someone out there who specializes in those types of games. Some of these games invoke a feeling of coziness for me. It doesn't have to be, farming simulators or life simulators or stuff like that. It could be a little bit of everything for me on this list. This list is also funny because it's not a top 10. It's actually 11 games. So when I sat down to make the list, came up with 10 games. I'm like, okay. But then I started thinking about more and more and more. Games started falling off the list left and right. And finally, it came down to 11. And I just could not keep the number 11 game off the list because it's not a cozy game, TM. But to me, it is. Invokes a lot of cozy feelings. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 11th game. Okay, the 11th game is Legend of Mana on the PS1. I actually have a PS4 copy as well. It's over there somewhere. So why is this game on the list? Why is this game cozy to me? Because the art, the music, the world, all of it. If I can make something physical, like a blanket, that I could just take that feeling and that music and that art and just wrap it up around me and keep it on me 24/7, I would. Because this game has amazing art with the watercolor stuff, especially with the starting areas like your house and the first town that you go to, the Domina. A lot of the places you explore, a little bustling harbor. There's this like city on the side of a mountain. It's just all of it. The art just goes so far to just making it just, I just want to live in this place. I want to be in it. And the music, I don't know, top 10 soundtracks of all time for me, like top 3 vinyls that I want on soundtrack. Please God, I want it so bad. Such a good soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura. What a great time. I love Legend of Mana. It just, whenever I think about it, I just get the cozy feels. That's like I said, I want to take this game's essence and just wrap it around me and never ever let go. Okay, the official number 10 is what you might call a more traditional cozy game. That is Spiritfarer. I played Spiritfarer when it first came out on Game Pass, and I liked it enough, and Kathy saw enough that she wanted a physical copy on Switch, so we got one. She played through it on Switch. It is a game about death. Ultimately, you are a Spiritfarer. You're got a boat. You're taking these wayward souls, mostly of animals. There might be a little mushroom creature in there too, and you're basically kind of, I guess, solving their afterlife problems so that they can accept their death, and you take them to the spirit door to the actual afterlife. But during that, you build up your boat. You can farm on your boat. You can have sheep that you take wool off of. You explore the areas. It's a good time. I think my favorite part of the whole game was just building up the boat. Like, you just get this ludicrously sized boat, just so many stories of different stuff, like, oh, I got my farm on the 5th floor of this boat. Like, it's crazy. And yeah, it's the message of the death, acceptance of death was kind of heavy-handed for me. It didn't get to the point of like emotional for me, but that's just me. Like, I think they do a damn good job of it for other people because it seemed to be really popular. But it's still a damn good game. If you love cozy games, you love stuff like that, you check out Spiritfarer if you haven't, because it's, like I said, number 10. It's great. Okay, number 9 is a game I do not have physically. I've played it on Game Pass on Xbox. I don't know if there's a physical version yet. After I record this video, I might check the old internet for that. It is Coral Island. I played it a little bit earlier in the last year. I remember playing it kind of back and forth when I got tired of playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Or I would play some Coral Island, or some games that came out earlier last year. And I really enjoyed it. It is that farming sim type of game, but it's way more interested in the coastal vibes, the island vibes. Everyone gathers on the beach. There's a lot. It's just a lot of vibes to it that just give like very that coastal feel. It's a good time. One of the things I did end up getting really deep into it, and as I played into it, I was like, this is just another mines, which they do have mines in the game, just like Stardew Valley and other stuff. They have a underwater section where you're basically just cleaning pollution, like litter and all this stuff, and you find this whole nother race of like mermaid people underneath the water, and you're just cleaning their little area out. And that's where I spent the majority of my time playing Coral Island. I was like, I need to clean up all this. I had a good time with it. It has some fun cast of characters, just like most of these games that they make the farming life sims. Like they have to have a lot of it rests on its characters for a lot of people, including me. Fun little gang of people, and it's one of the farming games to me that does the thing that most don't. Makes the movement of farming and stuff not fun in the sense, but I can do it. Like most other games, like it's a hassle. Like Stardew Valley, they nail the movement. This one, it's close enough, especially when I consider all the farming games I've tried to play in the wake of Stardew Valley. I'm like, this is not hitting it. I don't like any of this. How this feels. This feels rotten. Coral Island does it right. And yeah, that's number 9. Okay, number 8, we're gonna put in the category of, this is the type of game that I just want to take the world and wrap it up like a little blanket and put it around me forever. It is Paper Mario, the first one. Something about this game and that first little area in the first town that you come into. I think there's a little Goomba village that you start out in and do the tutorial, but then you go to the little Toad Town and all that stuff surrounding it. Oh man, and then you do that and you go to the desert, and I love the desert too in this game, and just the coloring of everything, like the start of the game when you're in Peach's castle and the lighting of it all, when like Peach's castle gets raised up in the sky and like the lighting of this castle and everything, the purples and the oranges. I just love that type of stuff, and this is a game that I didn't own when I was a kid. I did rent it a handful of times, and that's just, that whole aesthetic, just give it to me all day long. I wish they would have remade this, just like they did Thousand Year Door last year. This one doesn't get the love it deserves. For an RPG, I would say it's a damn cozy RPG, especially when you're like me, all that fun, colorful art in those first opening areas. Just you just want to be in it forever. All right, next up is another one of those games that I just want to be in that world forever. It is Fable 2. Fable 2. You're like, that's not a cozy game. What are you talking about? It was for me. I love the world of Albion. Same thing with when I talk about Paper Mario and Legend of Mana. Just a beautiful, colorful world. I watched the trailers for this game, came out a billion times. It's like, man, I cannot wait to just explore that, forested environment with the sunbeams going through, and just everything looks amazing. Like, I'm going to say it again for the last time, really. I just want to take this game, everything that makes it an artistic joy to look at and experience, and just be in it forever. It's probably like, I don't know, top 5 video game worlds I would like to live in. Albion and Fable 2 specifically. Can't go wrong. To me, it just screams a cozy time, and that's a nice pastoral feeling. I just want to be a little farmer, raising little carrots or whatever, like experiencing the greenery of everything. That sounds cozy to me. I don't know. Okay, number 6, we have Dredge. Now, Dredge was a game I originally played through on the PC before it had a physical version. Had to pick up a physical version when it came out, and then Kathy played through it. And so it's got stickers and everything too. Put those on the shelf. But Dredge was a fun time for me. I played it a lot coming home from work. I would, find some time to sit down by the PC for an hour and a half, and play some Dredge, and actually listen to this weird dungeon synth soundtrack that I might link into the comment or the info below, because I associate that with Dredge a lot. But this game is less about the art, a whole lot less about the art, because it's very dreary, very gothic, very Lovecraftian. And like I said, I listened to another soundtrack while I was playing it, so the music didn't really do much for me. So why is it cozy? Because you are going around in a boat and you're fishing and you're doing different things to catch different fish. You're exploring this kind of dark story that's told through a world of fishing. And fishing by itself, pretty damn cozy, unless you're getting pulled underneath the sea by a marlin or something. But yeah, Dredge is such a fun time. If you haven't played Dredge, know yourself to play Dredge. It's not super long, fun dark story, and yeah, just a fun little boat. Your fun little boat doing fish things. Except sometimes it's demonic. Okay, keeping up with the nautical theme on this list, number 5 is Dave the Diver. Now this Dave the Diver we have right here is still sealed because I played through it on Steam and on the PC and the Steam Deck. And we just happened to see a physical version at GameStop, and it was a good price compared to what I saw on eBay. I was like, is this real? Like, and I looked it up, and like people were selling it for like $90 on eBay that day. I was like, what the hell's going on? So we picked it up. Kathy wants to play it. Eventually, she hasn't started yet, but it's not her list. It's my list. And I love Dave the Diver. It has a very fun loop to it when you describe like a gameplay loop. Like it puts you in it, and it, you blink and 10 hours have gone by. You've been playing Dave the Diver for forever, and I played a lot of it when we were on vacation in Canada, and certain things were legal in Canada, and it helped me out playing this game a bit. And yeah, it was just such a fun time. God, there's so much in Dave the Diver. It's kind of hard to describe, but at its core, you're fishing underwater, spear fishing really at the start, and you're catching fish, and you got a certain amount of oxygen, a certain amount of things you can carry back. Then you got the sushi restaurant that you run at night, and you do certain things for the customers while you can, and then you make more money. You can hire up, other people can do it. It's just a fun loop, and it never really gets pull my hair out challenging. It's always got that cozy feel to it. As far as I can remember, I didn't remember getting really mad at it. But yeah, Dave the Diver, super fun time, super popular too. So if you're watching this video, you probably heard Dave the Diver. Like you don't need me to tell you, it's great. It's great. All right, next up, number 4, it's Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is a game I played actually on the PlayStation. It was stupid cheap on PSN one day, so I bought it just to mess around with it. Next thing I knew, I'd beat it. Loved it. Had to get a physical version, and then Kathy played the physical version on the Switch. She loved it too. Had to get the soundtrack on vinyl because the soundtrack's great. But you may be asking me, Andy, why is that cozy? It's cozy because it does have a lot of the like life sim, farming sim stuff in between the dungeon raiding that you're doing, the roguelite stuff where you're going through randomly generated dungeons and get new weapons and fighting people and all this other stuff. There is the lower chill end of it where you're running a cult and you got your church and you can tell your people what to do. You can send them to the stockyards. You can make them eat poop. You can make them clean up poop. It's a lot of poop. Like I said, with the loop of Dave the Diver, the loop of this is better to me. I fucking love Cult of the Lamb. It's on here mostly because it does have that life sim stuff, and I love the entire game to its core. But play Cult of the Lamb. I don't know what else to say. It does have the dungeon stuff, and that can be considered non-cozy to some people. But play it. You will not be disappointed. All right, number 3 is a game that I do not have physically because as of right now, as of the recording this video, it is not officially out yet. It is Fields of Mistria. It is in early access on Steam. I fully foresee a Switch or Switch 2 version of it in the future when it does get released. PlayStation, Xbox, all that stuff. There's zero reason why this game can't come out on multiple different consoles. It is a farming sim, like Coral Island, like Stardew Valley. Right now, where they're at, for me, it's nailing everything. I played about 20 hours of it, pretty much nonstop when I first bought it, when it was in early access, when it started in early access. It's still in early access, but it's gained a bunch of updates since then, and I haven't gone back because I just want to wait till it's done. I want to be able to do everything kind of uninhibited. When I did play it, I did run up against the early access walls of just saying, you can't do this now. And it bummed me out, but it got me excited for the future. And they've been pretty good about putting updates regularly as I'm recording this right now. It's into February. On their Steam page, they do have stuff for March updates. But I really think I'm gonna wait to 1.0. I'm gonna just jump back in. I'm so excited. This game is, to me, it is the successor to Stardew. I love the art of it, just the very colorful vibes. It looks like they took the color scheme from like Minish Cap on the GBA or some GBA game, like the greens and the stuff. Just really, they hit really hard. Maybe even like a Super Nintendo game, like a late Super Nintendo game. And the music hits that way too. Yeah, and just fun cast of characters. The art style kind of looks like a, I don't know, 80s anime for the characters. It just looks, it's firing on all cylinders for me. If you haven't heard of Fields of Mistria and you're into cozy games, just get it now. Get it now. I imagine the price will go up on Steam once it does come out fully. I think it's like $14.99 when I bought it. That was last year sometime. So good, so good. Okay, number 2. Could be an interesting one. It's Pokémon Snap on the N64. I didn't own this game growing up, but I rented it a bunch because it is a nice, cozy little ride going through different Pokemon environments and taking pictures of Pokemon. And then you can unlock upgrades and stuff to get certain Pokemon to come out during the little rides. They're like little safari rides, like you're on a track, and it's different stages. So you got like the little river stage. It's a volcano stage, or it's a, I don't know, like an abandoned electrical power plant stage, or just, it's different stuff. And you get those things like Pokemon food or a little a buzz ball or something. Not the buzz ball like the alcoholic drink, but like a little thing you can throw out that will disrupt the Pokemon, and you can get them to come out of their bush or shell or whatever as you redo the tracks, and you take new pictures of Pokemon, and you can take it back to Professor Oak, and he grades them, and he wants specific things, and so you're like, oh, I didn't get the Pokemon right in the center of the picture. Let me go back and get a good picture of it. And it's a very short experience. I loved it to death. When I first rented it, I beat it, and that was very uncommon for me back then. And I still rented it a bunch afterwards when we had to rebuy our N64. This is at the top of the list. I had to get it as soon as we saw it at one of the thrift stores. I freaking love this game. It is definitely a very cozy experience. If you've never played it, I imagine it's on NSO right now. If you subscribe to that on Nintendo Switch Online with the N64 games, you can play through it there. They also made new Pokemon Snap on the Switch. It's not on this list because I have not played it. I think I messed around with it a little bit, and I think they made it a bit more complicated, which is fine. The reason why I didn't play it is because I don't really care about Pokemon outside the original 150. And that's the Pokemon I played through the completion a bunch of times back in the day, and then I dabbled in some of them after the fact. Played mostly Pokemon Diamond on the DS, and that was fine, but I can remember like 3 Pokemon from that game. And yeah, this one, as soon as you get up into like 1,000 Pokemon, it's like, I don't know. Like, what am I even looking at when I'm taking these pictures? But anyway, if any of that sounds appealing to you, and you are a huge Pokemon fan, and you can keep up with all that stuff, check out new Pokemon Snap, because the original one is great. Okay, number 1. Is there any question about what number 1 is? No. I've said it, the name of the game, about 10 million times in this video alone. It's Stardew Valley. Of course it is. It is the first farming sim game I ever played. Really, I like messed around with Harvest Moon and like emulators and stuff. That was it. And this game got a ton of buzz when it came out like 10 years ago now. I think it was 2014 when it came out. Maybe later, 2016. I can't remember. But it might have been 2016. Anyway, I bought it on Steam when it first came out there and played around with it. I even did a few videos of me messing around with it on our last YouTube channel. No one watched them, but that's fine. I had a great time playing it. And then I went through that, did, a full cycle, full year, got married, all that stuff, and it came out on PS4. bought it there too and did it again. And then Kathy got stupid into it on the PS4, and then we ended up both playing on my profile. And she did the thing where she got, you know, all the items for the village center thing. I can't remember what it's called. And so we can get all the trophies. I bought the JoJo Mart, and so we can have the two different diverging stories there. Such a great time. We actually already have it on the Switch digitally, and I had to get a physical version because it's one of my favorite games of all time, really. And I just wanted to have a physical version I could put on the shelf and look at, because that's great art on the cover there. And like, we have it digital on Switch, played it there. We have it, it's on Game Pass on Xbox. I played it there too. I have, except for, I think there's a mobile version on the phone. I haven't touched that, but any place that's a console and PC, I have played Stardew Valley, and it spoke to me. Fun cast of characters, just making farming, you know, feel good. Like, the movement feels good and everything. The fishing feels good. Exploring the mines feels good. Great art, great music. We had the soundtrack on vinyl. It was one of the first, not one of the first soundtracks I bought on vinyl. I think it was my second one. The first one was Symphony of the Night. It's my favorite soundtrack of all time. And then Stardew Valley. That says a lot about Stardew Valley to me, that music hit me so hard. Matter of fact, we got tickets to go to a live orchestrated version of Stardew Valley music in October. And I'm damn excited. Every time it pops up in my head, I get excited. I get, let's go. A lot of people have been coming at the King since it came out, but ain't nobody even come close, in my opinion. The Fields of Mystery is there, but it's like there. But everyone else is like down here. Like, you can't see my hand, but I'm touching the floor. But yeah, that's Stardew Valley. It's number one. It's number one for a damn reason, because it's great. Okay, that's been my top 10-ish cozy games of all time for me, Andy from the Pixel Pub. If you have any recommendations of cozy games based on what you've seen right here, let me know in the comments. Let me know your favorite cozy games. Let me know your top 10s, your top 5s, your top 1s, all that fun stuff. Let me know what games you would consider not necessarily cozy, but, you know, the worlds that you would like to live in, inhabit, that give off those cozy feelings to you, just like Legend of Mana, Fable 2, and Paper Mario do for me, that were on this list. Anyway, I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Please like, subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. Peace out.